So, thank you for joining the Q Chat, the conversation amongst queens. Today, my special guest is Miss Gabby B. Gabby is a Brazilian music artist, and she has some great hits, including this amazing single right now called Violins. Gabby has a great platform. She also sings about empowerment, so there's a lot of things I definitely want to chat with her about, just about self love, of course, and how we can put ourselves first. So, how are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Just relaxing before I came on here. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you so much for gracing our show. So I wanted to start off because you're a Brazilian artist, and I wanted to talk about your transition from Brazil to America. So how long have you been singing, and what brought you to your journey? From being a Brazilian artist to now breaking into the American mainstream.
It's actually pretty funny because it's like usually it's such a long story, but I didn't go from Brazil to America.
Mhm.
I went from Brazil to France to Canada to America. So it was like a whole journey before I actually got here. I was raised in France, and both my parents were performers. My mom did samba, and my dad is a martial arts master, and he still does it till this day. So, entertainment has always been part of my life, and culture has always been like in me because so many different places just going around and you
Mhm.
know so yeah, I mean, like Brazil, when I don't know why we didn't end up staying there, but I'm glad the way that things like ended up happening, because like the opportunity I'm having here in America is amazing. I became a citizen in America, and it has been such a long journey, but so great.
That's great. So, as you mentioned, from going to Brazil and not directly to America, but obviously having French roots and things like that, how does your culture influence your music? Do you tend to blend in any of your culture in your music and your songs?
Oh yes, all the time. I mean, it's just literally who I am. I've noticed so many different things in different countries that I've lived in or visited, and like every country is different things, and um, everything has its special moments. And I love the elements of Brazilian funk. I always put like either Brazilian funk or an African vibe, or even like Middle Eastern sounds. I love just culture in general, and I appreciate it. And it's part of who I am and part of like what my background is. And I just love sharing it with America, the world.
Growing up, who were some of your musical influences? Did you have like any particular idols that you looked up to that influenced you, in shaping yourself as a singer?
Besides my mom, that she was also a singer and she wrote many songs. She got me into Britney Spears. Um, when Britney Spears was obviously more more active and doing her thing. I used to be very inspired by her work on stage, and like how she put a theatrical performance. To me, I love like that work, that the whole theatrical performance that she puts on, instead of like just going to a concert and listening to them sing, which I still love. But I love when you see that they put the effort. Beyonce also does the same thing. I get inspired by her also. She's such a hardworking person, and I always get inspired to be like that, like every day.
Who are some of the people that you've collaborated with?
One of the people was I've collaborated with London B, from the show. Yee, Rhythm and Flow. Okay, Rhythm and
Mhm.
Flow. Yes, and Cardi B was in it. She was one of the judges. I've collabed with also Justina Valentine. She is amazing. It's a song called "Pretty Girl Lit." We did a music video together. Um, and I've also collaborated with Ayaz, uh,
Mhm.
with the song Replay.
Mhm.
That's one of his biggest hits. Um, So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool collaborating with these people. Really wonderful people for sure.
As a musical artist and being a young woman, have you had any challenges in the music industry? Just being a woman, or just, and obviously you're beautiful too. Like, have you had any challenges asserting yourself, or just being heard, or just, any type of issues where like you've had to get yourself out there for people to respect you? Like, what challenges have you faced?
Oh, I've so many challenges. Uh, Starting off with the business area, it's really like um not the greatest.
Mm.
I will say, like in the music industry, the business part is very sucky, especially for like women and stuff. Or like even like people thinking that they can take advantage of you, and think that you don't know anything, which that's one thing you gotta definitely read the contracts and definitely, get someone on your side that knows the business, because it could really, mess you over if you do anything wrong. I mean, I've had a lot of situations where I've had contracts, and obviously I got lucky enough that I had a lovely team that, is my family and works with me. But so many basically lies, but like they would tell you one thing, and then like you would read the contract, and it would basically be like, oh, saying, oh, I'm gonna put you in my label or whatever, and that's not what you want. So there's a lot of lies like that, and also just obviously being a woman and guys thinking like in the business, if they're like really important people, thinking that they can, oh, you want this role, or you want to do this, then let's go on a date or something. Like there's things that like happens to every a lot of women in the industry, and you have to be careful. I have, again, my family, that always takes care of me and knows what I'm doing, so like they're always there to like give me advice, so it's always great.
Hmm. And that's awesome that you have your family with your support. Because I've definitely heard a lot of mixed things about the music industry, that it could definitely have some dark sides for sure. What advice do you have for any young women who want to break into the industry? And like I said, it's not like a secret that the music industry has, some dark issues, but obviously people do have some opportunities to make it. So, what advice would you have for young women that want to be an artist?
I would say if you really want it, you like I would say that you really have to want it, because like you can't just be like 1 foot in and 1 foot out when you get into it, because it's something that takes a lot. It changes your whole life. Like you have to like really be dedicated to what you're doing if you want to get anywhere in this business, because it's a hard business, and you have to find someone that you trust, that knows the business and can help you, but also you have to put in so much work. Ooh, I lost you for a second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Something blinked out. Can you start over again if that's okay?
Oh, it's all right. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Well, what I would say is women that would want to be in the industry, I would say you better really want it, because the business is not easy. The industry will tear you up. And if you're not in it, like if you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out, that's you gotta be fully dedicated, because it's gonna change your life. You're not gonna have time for like friendships. You're not gonna have time for anything if you really want to get where you want to get. And that's how my life has been. It's been so much dedication, so much work, social media and business phone calls, and what's the next step? How do I get there? How do I grow? It's a lot to deal with, and always, and also find someone that you trust,
Mhm.
because someone that you trust but also knows the business, because it will literally tear you down.
Oh,
You
yeah,
don't want that.
definitely. So, speaking of social media, I know just through my research during the pandemic, you pretty much blew up a lot with your followers. And I know social media is so important. And I love TikTok now. I didn't catch on during the pandemic because I was like, I don't want to add another social media thing to my plate. But how is it like maintaining your social media following? Like what success have you had with it? Do you like social media? Because I know some people they don't like it, but they do. You know, I know it's necessary. So how has that social media journey been?
It's definitely toxic. I would say that, but I like it. It's how you build yourself and your fan base nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, and well, TikTok was really like just for fun at first. Um, and then like I just the more I used it, the more I was like, oh, this is kind of fun, whatever. And then one of the video I did was like also like not the it wasn't I wouldn't say it was like a wow video, the one that blew up. It got like 40 million. Like
Hmm.
that's the one that blew up and for me, I'm just like, oh, that's like just a normal video. But that's what TikTok does. Like you never know what you're gonna go viral for. I'm thankful it was for dancing instead of like a random video of like I don't know an egg falling off the table. I saw that the other day. It had so much views. I was like, why does this have so much view? It was literally just an egg falling on the floor from the
Hmm.
table. That's
Hmm.
it. And that got like so much, but that wasn't my video. But
Right.
I'm just thankful that it was something that I love because I also love dancing. But social media is very
Yeah.
hard to maintain. You got to answer. You want to connect with your audience and your supporters, and you want to show them that you see them. Especially when they're like super super fans,
Yeah.
and like replying to comments. You have Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, like so many. I also have this other app, Likey, that majority of the my fan base is children, like from
Hmm.
like 3 years old to like above. And it's crazy because when I go live, like they're all there and they all want to know things, and it's like it's a whole different universe, but it's like so many things to keep up with, and
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Right, right, right. Social media definitely is a double-edged sword for sure. So,
Yeah.
speaking of your following, I wanted to barrel back and go to your music again. And I know you do have your hit single out, Violins, which I was telling you before we recorded that I was listening to right before we got started. One thing I do like about the song when you mentioned like we're not gonna take you back 3 times, things like that. I think it's something really catchy, of course, and it's empowering and it's something that people need to listen to, just to give them that confidence. I feel instead of being, woe is me, I'm single, or woe is me, things aren't working out. Like, hey, you can
For
assert yourself and
sure.
move on. So can you tell us some more about violins?
So, I've got screwed over so many times with like relationships
Hmm.
in my life, and like very like toxic relationships, where the boy usually thinks that, oh, we're going to get married and then you're going to be at home cooking, like things like that, like the stereotype. Ugh.
Right.
I'm so stubborn. I'm a Taurus, and I'm so stubborn.
Hmm.
And I don't like when they try to control me. And that's
Right.
like one thing that got me motivated to write and like have a song like that.
Hmm.
Um, and also I've had so many friends that just goes back to the same guy, the same toxic guy. He cheats on her and then she goes right back, and I'm like, are you freaking like me? It's
Yeah.
once and done. Like
Right.
if you do something that messes me up, it's once and done. And that's
Yeah.
what's happened in my life. Like there was only one guy that I like loved in my
Hmm.
life, but he was so toxic.
Mm.
And I just had, and not in a smoking type of way, more in a
Yeah.
like a really really good boy, but like saying that I'm gonna go to hell if I
Mm.
do what I want to do, and I have to be behind him when I'm his wife because he wants to be a pastor, things
Mm.
like that, like
Mm.
really, but like really intensely bad.
Yeah.
And this song is for the girls, and just don't give into that. Be independent, Uh, do what you want to do. Don't let a guy in your life tell you that you can't be this. Like my ex told me that I couldn't be a singer or a dancer
Mm.
if I was going to be his wife.
Wow.
And look at me now. I bye bye.
Hmm.
I want to. This is what I want to do. Like,
Right.
it's insane. And you just got to tell them that you're independent and you don't want to be controlled and you want to do you.
Mm, that's a great thing. I'm an Aries too, so I'm like right ahead of you, but I get it, and especially for a lot of young women, because I'm in my 40s now, and it's like I look back on things, like, okay, wow, like certain relationships shouldn't have got past, the first text or the first date, and that's part of another journey with women is that we learn things. Sometimes we get another chance on our end, not giving the other person, two, three, four chances, but sometimes we get opportunities to kind of get it right next time because it's like, oh, okay, here's some knowledge that I picked up on that I'll know not to do any further. So that's good that, like I said, I really did like the song. I thought it was great, and
So
it's
much.
really cool, just the lyrics and everything. So, with your music, how important is it when you make your music? Is that one of your goals with your songs to kind of subliminally or maybe even directly inspire women to be confident?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I don't want to just put a niche into the women. Also, I want to inspire guys. Like,
Mhm.
I love the LGBT community. Like, I love when I get to do things for them. Um, I just love confidence and being yourself. Like, that's all. That's what I love because I've been bullied a lot in my life. In school, like every in different all the countries that I've lived in, I've been bullied by someone, so like in a different way. So like it inspired me to finally be myself, accept that, like accept my skin color, accept my hairstyle, like accept who I am. And
Mhm.
that's what I like to inspire other people to do. If they're going through what I went through in my past life, maybe they can look at me and be like, oh my god, she's in this place, she's successful and she loves herself, and look how confident she is. I think I can be like that.
Mhm.
And that's all I really want to do.
Mm, that's amazing. Speaking of, like you mentioned, just being comfortable in your own skin, you were bullied in the past, as a lot of us have experienced things like that, which can lead to insecurity, of course.
Mhm.
How do you cater now, knowing what you knew then and the fact that you've been able to work through it? How do you cater to your self love? Like, how important is self love to you? Like, I do always end everything with that, but I want to kind of change it up a little bit and ask you this before we end it, just how important is self love to you? Because that is the fuel to just be confident, to be yourself, to be bold. So, how important is self love to you, and how do you maintain it?
It's very important. When I was little, like I was depressed. I mean, I still am depressed and I have PTSD, and I go through things nowadays because of what happened to me. Um a lot of things, and a part of that is because I didn't like my eye color. I didn't like my hair, that it was like curly. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like that I wasn't white, you know,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And it really hurt me. And now I finally, like, I'm so comfortable with myself and I love showing my body because I worked hard on my body. I've been judged as a little girl for being chubby.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've worked on myself and I love myself and I love my culture, and just that, to me, self love is so important. And you need that. You
Oh
really do
yeah.
need that. You
Mm-hmm.
need to accept who you are, and find a way to be mentally, healthy.
Right, right. Mental health is extremely important. And like you said, dealing with depression or PTSD, it's something that it's a constant thing that you have to work on, and some people may not understand that. So, and I know we discussed internally, what do you do externally for self care? Just, taking care of yourself. I'm sure you're very busy, probably on the road a lot. Like, how do you relax when you do get some time to yourself?
I like to take baths. Usually the shower is like my me place where no one can bother me and no one can be like, oh, you have to do this, you have to wake up or whatever. Like, I love taking baths. And other moments is I like to, like, just lay down and watch horror movies. I know that doesn't sound relaxing,
Mhm.
but to me, I love horror movies, and that actually does relax me. So,
Mhm.
just like, being by myself, even though sometimes it gets lonely, but being by myself is like the best, I would say, comfortability to relax my mind.
Right, right. It's so important. And I know, like, I talk a lot about self love, but self care is just important. What we do to just make ourselves feel better. And I don't know if it's an empath thing, but I just get a lot of peace too, just taking a long bath. Like, something about it just gives me a lot of peace for some reason. So, self care is extremely important. But going back to the music, do you have a wish list of people who you want to work with? I know we discussed some of your previous collaborations. So who's on your wish list for people you like to work with?
I would like to work with Bruno Mars. Is one of the people. I just feel like, since he can dance, and I don't know, something about him just really. I think we could make a good song together.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna go on high names right now.
Yeah.
Doja Cat. I think she's super sexy and she can dance. Anybody that can really dance and sing, like, I
Hmm.
like, because it matches my energy and what I like to do.
Hmm.
So I like Doja Cat. Uh, those are the two people. And Lil Nas. I love Lil Nas.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Currently, yeah, those are my top three.
Okay. Okay. So what's your plans in the future? Are you going to be doing any tours or anything with your album?
I do have a performance that I'm gonna do for Fashion Week in California. I just did
Mhm.
one in New York, and now in actually I think it's in either no, not next week. In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'm going to California. I'm gonna do a performance for the Fashion Week, so I'm really excited about that.
Okay.
um, and maybe a festival coming up soon. I don't have like confirmed dates, but there is things coming up that I can't really like expose right now.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
that's one future thing that I have coming up, and also going to Chicago. That I do sometimes for the sports convention, but I
Okay.
go there as an artist, and I get
Mhm.
to meet supporters and fans and all that good stuff.
Okay, okay, that's great. So, with your music, what would you say are some of the top songs for someone, let's say they're not familiar with with your music. What songs would you give them? Like, if you had like a shot to just give them the singles that would guess maybe describe you the most, or give you the vibe that you want to give out for someone that's not familiar with your music. What's top three singles would you pick?
I would give, well, first of all, Belly Dancer. That's my favorite song of me, myself. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite songs that I've made is Belly Dancer. And then Brazilian Funk really shows my Brazilian side. And Lost with You, because Lost with You is another song of mine that talks about. The boyfriend we just talked about, like the ex, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's more like, but it's more like, I wouldn't say it's a ballad, but it's also not a dancey song. It's more like meaningful and deep. So, like, yeah, I think those would be my songs that I would show someone who's never heard of me.
Okay, okay. So, one last thing I want to ask you, just rounding everything out. Right now, there's a lot of pressure on women. Just if you have confidence in yourself, if you're comfortable in your body, sometimes people they want to make you feel some type of way for showing your body too much or not showing it enough. It's like sometimes you just can't win. So, how do you navigate that? Like how do you deal with any judgments that come in? I feel like sometimes women aren't given the opportunity or the freedom to just be happy with the skin that they're in, if they're happy with their bodies and just being happy and free. I think sometimes it's like even with Meg the Stallion, artists like that,
Hmm.
either people really appreciate the confidence or then there's the group that has something negative to say about it,
True.
instead of just letting people be free. So how do you deal
True.
with that?
What I've noticed, like I've lived in Brazil, France, And what I've noticed about America is they're very judgmental on they're more judgmental on less clothes.
Yeah.
Like, for example, in France, you would go to the beach and you would see girls topless and it wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
It's completely normal. In Brazil, I like to think of it like that.
Yeah.
Like, in Brazil, if you look at Carnival, I watch Carnival every year.
Hmm.
It's always in February. It's like the biggest holiday for us
Right.
besides Independence Day.
Hmm.
Um, but in Carnival, girls, they dress up. It's an art.
Yeah.
So when they look all gorgeous and glowy and stuff, it's still an art form. Like they have the feathers, and sometimes they don't even wear clothes. Like
Yeah.
they literally just painted all over. And some girls are even topless, but they have like rhinestone stuff that makes them look so like classy and stuff. But it's like it's not about. I wouldn't say it's about like you wearing less. It's about how you portray yourself. I don't really know how to explain. Like
Yeah.
like if you want to be the type of person, and it's still okay. Like
Yeah.
if you want to be the type of person that likes to not wear clothes because you want to I don't know do certain sexual stuff, then that's fine.
Hmm.
But the way that I always learned, even from my mom, is I like it to look at it as like you work hard for your body. I see it as an art.
Yeah.
When you dance is an art, when you sing it's an art, when you show your body and you're full of rhinestones, it's an art. Your
Hmm.
body is part of it, and it's just beautiful to look at. I think women in all shapes and sizes are beautiful, and it's just how we are. All the little details in our skin and the
Yeah.
butt and the boobs. It's who we are.
Right.
A lot of people also judges like women, like mothers who breastfeeds, and I think
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. That's what breasts are for. That's what
Right.
they're first made of. I mean,
Hmm.
cows do it too. Like, it's
Right.
a thing. It's a woman thing. So
Hmm.
like, I don't know why people even talks about that. But like,
Right.
I don't like to look at comments. Sometimes I look at comments because I want to reply, but I try not to because it's too much opinions. You
Yeah.
don't need that. You don't need
Right.
that. Just be stubborn.
Right. I
Listen
agree.
to the
I
people
agree.
who actually like cares about you and wants the best for you.
Right. I agree. And before we end everything, what would you like to end everything with? Let's say, for example, I know we talked about empowerment, just being confident in ourselves. And I know, like you mentioned, you were very transparent about having past depression, being bullied, PTSD. All of these things are instances that are really common for people that people just may not discuss, but it's more common than we realize that a lot of people have experienced bullying, having issues with their confidence, low self esteem, depression, things like that. So, how would you end everything just to give someone some advice or some affirmations on how they can really, work through their confidence and just basically love themselves and feel good about themselves?
Well, you got to test the waters cuz obviously everyone's different, but do things that makes you feel good. Like, watch if you like watching a certain show that makes you feel like you can do it or you can do it too. Watch it more. Like I used to love watching America's Top Model, even though the
Mhm.
girls are like way completely different than me.
Right.
Even like Barbie, I love Barbie, but like
Hmm.
her body's not like mine. But something in my brain just triggers me to motivate to like, yes, I want to dress up like her. But I don't
Hmm.
think about the body. But everyone's different. So you got to just test the waters, and if you see something online that doesn't make you feel good, don't watch it anymore. Um like I would just say like always take care of yourself. Go buy you some skincare products, or take care of your hair, and that kind of like gets you a little bit to be like, okay, okay, like slowly. It's baby steps, like if you're really not confident in yourself. But I would say just try to watch things that make you happy and try to
Mhm.
not watch things that doesn't make you happy. You know,
Right.
instead of leaving a negative comment, just block it. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and I think that's good advice to just block out negativity because toxicity, of course, that lives on social media, and like you said, people's comments, opinions, like none of that matters at the end of the day in order to love
Yeah,
yourself.
everyone says things about anything. You could be the most amazing person ever. You still get judged. I mean, even Jesus
Exactly.
gets judged. Like that's crazy. So
Right. You're definitely right about that. This has been a great conversation. Before we end everything, tell everyone how they can follow you on social media, of course, how they can follow you on TikTok, and also how they can learn more about your music. So give everybody all your contact information.
my TikTok and Instagram is Gabby B underscore music. That's GABBY B_music. And you can find my music on YouTube and Apple Music, Spotify, any streaming platform, Tidal, Amazon. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope everyone gets a chance to check out Gabby B's music and also just take some heed to her message as well about just loving yourselves. A lot of us have dealt with bullying, low self esteem. Some of us deal with depression, PTSD, all these different things. But we don't have to let those things keep us down. Definitely, whatever you have to do in order to love yourself, feel good about yourself. Don't be afraid to do that because you're definitely worth it and you deserve some happiness and peace. So, thank you guys again for tuning into the Q Chat, the conversation amongst queens. Don't forget to follow on IG. That's I am underscore go queen or the Q Chat underscore podcast. And you can learn more by going to our website, www.goqueen.com. So thank you guys again for tuning in and don't forget to go love yourself.
Kisses.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Have a good one.
Bye. Bye bye.